Hi there, Matt here for CLG. Today we're going to talk about note duration and start to talk about rhythm. In the next session we'll talk about time signatures. Today we're just going to look at note duration. We're not going to get too complex as we go through, but we're just going to look at the simple symbols that we use to designate how long you play a note for. So you can see in front of you that the first note that we have is called a semibreve. The other word for it is a whole note. I'm going to be using both names today as they're largely interchangeable. The Americans go with the fractions and the English and the Europeans tend to go with the standard names. So a semibreve or a whole note basically lasts for 4 beats in a bar. So through a bar of music, if it's a bar of 4/4, you play it for the entire bar, holding the note for those 4 beats. Half of that value is called a minim, M-I-N-I-M. A minim is also called a half note, and it goes for half the length of a semibreve. So 2 are played in a bar of 4/4. The ratio looks like this. A quarter note is our next division, and you can see we're dividing into 2 each time we go down. So a crotchet or a quarter note is played for 1 beat. 4 of these fit into a bar of 4/4. And as we go down, we use the same symbol, but we put a tail on the end, or a flag. A tail is the most common name. A flag, again, is an American name. It's also called an eighth note, and there are 8 of them in a bar of 4/4. Finally, we have a semiquaver. Semiquaver is a quarter of 1 beat. 16 of them fit into a bar of 4/4, hence the name 16th note. So if we look down, we can see that the ratios fill out as such. So I'm just going to play you an example of this. I'll start at the top of the chart, and I'll play a semibreve, and then minim, crotchet, etc. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so we're just going to have a bit of a look at dotted notes. If you ever see a note with a dot next to it, to the right-hand side of it, it means you play that note for half as long again. So in this case, we have a dotted crotchet or a dotted quarter note. So we play the quarter note and then we play half of that quarter note or half of a crotchet. So we actually play the note for a crotchet and a half, or a crotchet and a quaver. We can see it demonstrated here. Quaver equals half of 1 crotchet, so we play a dotted crotchet for this amount of time. Crotchet plus a quaver is 1.5 beats. Exercise 8 asks you to identify the note duration. In your music theory supplementary materials, I've given you a whole grid or a whole table of basically how many beats each symbol is worth. So start with a semibreve, it equals 4 beats. Exercise 8. Number 1, it's a semibreve, underneath you put 4. Minim is worth 2, a crotchet is worth 1. Now here we have some dotted notes as well, so just be careful. In your table there are dotted notes as well, so really you just have to identify where they are and put them into your assignment. For each note that we have, we also have an equal rest. So this is when we don't play. And the rests are all lined up in your table, and you can see quite clearly whereabouts the rests or how they relate to the note durations or the notes. So really it's just a case of looking for the symbol and plugging in the amount of beats that thing is worth. Okay, so have a go at those 2 exercises. Best of luck.